And welcome back to the Boatfeed, ladies and gentlemen, lovers of sailing and adventure sports. I'm Alan Block. This is Matt Knighton, and we are back to show you the most amazing stuff that's coming off of the ocean in the 2017-18 Volvo Ocean Race.
Yeah, craziness happening in the Volvo right now. Everybody's glued. I was refreshing the tracker every 10 seconds. I'm responsible for like 1,000 hits on their usage. But yeah, no, I can't believe we're in a three-way tie headed into the final sprint.
And I don't know if it's also because I've started, the sailing season's on now. I'm racing again, and I don't know if it's that combined with the Volvo, but all of a sudden I'm so into this race. I'm so into sailing in general. It really, you start to understand why when they say a great event will bring more people to the sport. I'm excited about sailing again.
Yeah, and hopefully that this, every time we keep hoping that the Volvo, as it gains more and more momentum, just improves upon itself for the next editions. And I think this is going to be an awesome springboard for the next edition, given how this race is wrapping up. So,
but springboard for the next leg, the one that decides it all. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But first, to some business. In the studio today, we've got Steve Kindra from Skyway Yacht Works, our sponsor, one of our sponsors and supporters, and an old friend and a guy who does a lot for sailing. So big thanks to Skyway Yacht Works. If you're in the Chicago greater area, check them out for hauling, fixing stuff, doing anything you want to at that beautiful facility. What else?
Thanks to Musto. Musto's been kidding us out this entire Volvo, as well as several of the teams in the Volvo, keeping them dry offshore. They've been fantastic. So thanks again to Musto.
We were going to have a sat phone call with the Mud Rats, the sort of Musto branded junior team that's in the Newport Bermuda race. They're right now on final approach. They should be in a few hours. We couldn't get that call done, but check out on the Boatfeed page. We'll have an interview with them coming up.
Cool.
So huge thanks to Musto and all the folks who they outfit for sharing their stories with us.
Thank you to Inmarsat, official satellite communications provider for the Volvo Ocean Race, who's the one responsible for sending all the stuff that we're going to be showing you off the boats and into your living room, as well as keeping all the crew safe with all of their communications equipment. And then
awesome stuff. And then I think I really want to have a special thanks. We kind of give them second billing because they're not cash sponsors, but man, we couldn't have done this without Chicago Yacht Club.
Awesome.
This incredible clubhouse at Belmont, and everyone has been so helpful. We just had 83 junior sailors roaming around in here. We were going to shoot with them, but they're a little rambunctious, and it's beautiful to see what CYC does for sailing in the area. And the MAC coming up in a month, folks, and I think me and Matt might be around for the MAC and might be showing you some stuff, so make sure you check out CYC's Race to Mackinac on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and sign up and make sure you... Well, if you're not racing it, that you watch it because it's the biggest race of its kind in the world.
So what do we got?
Well, let's just talk about the legs because it's legs, right? It was a transatlantic leg, which frankly was interesting, but I don't know how many transatlantic legs I've seen by now, right? I mean, there's 1,000 races and record attempts that go the same route, and there was some great stuff. There were some storms, but honestly...
Coolest part was the 24-hour records being smashed by a 65. That was awesome.
But there was a limit to what the cameraman could do in those conditions, right? Because you can't open the boat.
Right.
No, you can't open the boat in those conditions. Can't open it.
Pretty wet. Although there were some drones thrown up during those runs, and that was just sick to see the boats averaging, what was it, 27, 28 knots.
I couldn't believe the drones could keep up. And I really want to know, I want to know the drone tally and the drone parts tally at the end of this.
One thing, actually, I thought about this. It's funny you mentioned that. I think that we should find out how many drones were lost during the race.
Yeah.
We're going to hold a contest, and whoever can guess the right number at our final show, we should give them something. I don't know what it is yet.
All right.
But
well, Kindra's got some colors. We got T-shirts. There you go.
All right, we'll do some sleuthing.
All right, so but those races. So yeah, 24-hour record, some smashing sales on the way over.
Just smashing going on.
But frankly, I didn't really get excited until that little tiny leg around the north tip of Scotland.
Past the 3 days, 4 days it took were just riveting. I was refreshing the tracker every 10 seconds. I'm probably responsible for 1,000 hits on the Volvo usage for the app, but yeah, it was so cool. And the race has never come down this close before. Maybe between two boats, but three boats, that's insane. And I think it's also pretty awesome for the OBRs. At this point in the race, you're going to try everything you got because they're going to have maybe 48 hours to get everything out that they've ever wanted to do. Sam Greenfield still has to fly a racing drone all through and around the boat. He's been practicing on his computer with video games. I'm not kidding you. So
because we know that the one time they flew through the boat, it was staged.
Exactly. So he's got to do that. He's got limited time to do it. So
yeah, no, and you could see the OBR start to step up as well in this final leg. Obviously, there's a lot of action. It's super tight racing. It's a short course. No one's got to really go to sleep. So you have these options to dial it up a little bit.
They've got good content to produce it with. You got people that are exhausted after 9 months. And then on top of that, you have the racing so close, so the emotions all come out. Perfect conditions to shoot.
Yeah, yeah, and then big weather changes, calms. I mean, you go from calm to 27 knots, 30 knots. Like it was full on. Honestly, you couldn't have written it better. And it comes at a really important time for the Volvo Ocean Race as an organization, as a body, as an event. Yep. We'll talk about that. We've got breaking news. We've got some discussion stuff. But let's get to the leg. All right. You know, do you want to do 4 or 3 from me? I don't know how many you got, but I know we have at least one of the same.
Let's do like 2 and 2, and then we'll share the one.
All right, cool.
Raw content. Here we go.
All right. So first up, I kind of feel like because of the way that AkzoNobel is performing, and they've sort of locked themselves in, they can't really go up, they can't really go down. We might not see a ton of them in the final episode, because it's all about that top 3 at the moment, and even the bottom 2 as well. There's a battle, really good tight battle for the DFL as well. But the boat is so pretty, the design is so gorgeous. It's great that a paint company, you know, you didn't have that situation where sometimes a company that does something does the exact wrong thing, but this time a paint company made a gorgeous design, a gorgeous boat, really vibrant colors, and they pop so well with the contrast of those waves. But that's not why I picked that video. I mean, let's have a look.
Challenges ahead. You know, immediately, very soon in the near future, we're going to have some light air off the corner of Ireland, then some upwind and light air again getting across a ridge, and then some sort of fresh southerlies to take us up to the top.
Breeze out there, or?
It's quite cool to actually see all the geography of Ireland. Normally it's quite bad weather around here, so you don't actually get to see that much, and it's quite beautiful really, so it's quite cool to see all of it.
Sort of 3rd, 4th at the moment, same as we are overall. You know, I think the way forward for us here is just simply just to score as high up the finishing order as possible. But certainly conditions ahead could have boats doing damage. So. You never know. That's what I think we need a little bit of that to help us get on the podium overall. So yeah, we just keep pushing the boat and sailing as quick as we can.
All right, so why do I love the video? Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, maybe we won't get a chance to see those AkzoNobel colors so much in our final show, and I want to preserve it forever because who knows if they'll ever be back. But look, he flew through arches. We've been talking about drone video the whole race. It's all about progression, and you can see that the technical part seems to be mostly solved. right? That's what happened this race.
Yeah.
The technical part got solved.
Yeah.
And now they can concentrate on the art, and all of a
figure
sudden
out
it's
the technical
freedom.
stuff really, really early on,
Yeah.
and now it's like, how do you keep pushing it and keep getting better with it? Two things that are really cool about that. I know, like the drone flying, maybe to the OBRs is the easy stuff that they do, but take what they're doing here, you know, and look at it objectively, because first of all, he's got a limited time to fly the drone. He has to find the arch. That takes a while. Then you have to fly the drone over there. So you're looking for it in the drone. You
All
see
while you're
it.
sailing by at 15 knots.
Exactly. You keep getting further and further away. So really your time window is just shrinking exponentially as you're shooting this. And then you have to
Super
set up the
stressful.
shot. But then think about that he's got rock on either side of the camera, or the drone, so he's got really bad transmission signal through the whole thing. So
your effective range is cut in half.
Exactly. And, like you could lose the drone. It could try to return home through the wall of the arch, which would be terrible. Anyways, that's what I appreciate about it.
Yeah, good stuff. Really good stuff from James Blake.
Awesome. Next vid, I've got a little MAPFRE vid, giving him some love. I think Ugo really pulled a cool moment out that's super emotional, and he was the only guy that really got in the face of all these guys during the leg and actually captured the raw emotion. So
I want to see it.
I
want to see it. I haven't seen this pic yet.
Check it out. Yeah, no, like that. There was a lot of coverage of the moment when Brunel passed MAPFRE,
right?
And we're going to get to some of that as well because I thought that was well covered. But for me, Ugo was the only one with MAPFRE that captured the emotions on the sailors' faces and the physical toll the race has been taking. Like these guys have been racing for 9 months. The shot of Xabi and his bloodshot eyes, and he hasn't slept for days. And then he gets up really close to Blair, and you could see the water droplets coming down his face, which is actually a really technical shot in those conditions to get because of how shaky it is. And the shot is just steady and close, and that Blair didn't care that he was that zoomed in on his face. They were just in the moment racing. They didn't care that Ugo was there shooting.
And that last leg, there were quite a few people that got zero sleep, and
Yep.
sleep deprivation sets in after whatever it is, 27 hours, and
Yep.
you could see it. You could smell it. I mean, look at Blair's face. But it also sets up a real story here, because who's preserving their sailors the best on these legs where the conventional wisdom is you really don't need much sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
And that last, what won that leg? What was it? It was a new J2 compared to old J2s, and probably Pete Burling on the helm. Maybe they kept him fresh. I mean, who knows if that's really what happened? We'll talk to Bao about that when we can. But it's not only is it emotional and beautiful, but it's the competition.
That stuff is the toughest stuff to get, and that stuff is what the commercial world looks for in content.
Why is it so tough to get?
It's just you have to have a rapport with the sailors that allows you to get in there, and you have to find then the right moment when to do it. And I think it gets overlooked a lot. But if you look at all the stuff that's coming out from the advertising world, it's all about authenticity. So to grab that and you feel it in the camera, I thought was pretty cool.
All right. Speaking of authenticity, let's get into some toe fungus.
Can't believe I just segued that. Gosh, you used me. All right, let's check it out.
Probably don't use that. That nail got by being wet for 2 weeks, and then it sort of fell off a bit. And I helped it a little bit as well, and then it went bad. The skin dried up, and then the new toenail can't grow over it. And this lady in Holland told me, "Ah, no, don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine." And I'm not feeling.
That's what they told me 25 years ago. Do you want to have a look at mine? And pull them out. You're not good.
It's gonna be fine. It feels like it's not gonna be fine. So I'm just doing my own modifications now.
We can put that in the dinner tonight.
Yeah, we do use this as the parmesan.
It's macaroni cheese.
Alberto likes it when he gets some more flavor in. So people only see the hands getting but it's actually the feet that get even worse. Mine are actually not that bad. You should see Pete's feet. It's like a little troll man.
I don't know, man. I mean, authenticity, right? It's all about authenticity, and that video felt it. You can stage sort of the funny. Oh, I have baboon butt. Oh, I have saltwater
Never
sores.
heard it called that before.
Baboon butt?
No.
What do you call it?
Swass?
Swass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, baboon butt, whatever it is, big and red. That we've gone through that, how to poop in the bucket, like all these things. But this is like real medical stuff, and this is what happens on the rail, especially in light air. Like you catch up with some of that much needed disgusting hygiene.
This stuff
right?
happens all the time out there.
Does.
So it's cool that it got captured.
And it doesn't get captured well, if
we
ever.
had I mean, the foot situation on board these boats is terrible.
Why?
After day 10, and it's like
because
wet
they're
out.
always wet.
Well, you're like walking around barefoot down below, and everything's wet with salt water, and there's a slime that gets coated over everything, and then you're slipping on that, and then there's, I swear, there have been bad injuries because people slip on the foot.
Biofilm.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, that's nasty. Anyway, I liked it. Carl Hussman is a bit of a star. I like him. Cool guy, big, strong Dutchie, and yeah, there you go.
All right, next video is from Dongfeng. We're going to get to the video of the leg, which everyone knows what it is. But this was a complimentary video to that was on Dongfeng, I think the same night. And just turn up the audio, put on the headphones, and take a listen to this for a couple minutes.
Get loud.
Yep.
That felt like a war video.
No,
it felt like war video.
The audio on it is peaking the entire time, but like combined with the shots at night of the North Sea, like that. I was watching it and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, someone has finally captured what 25%, 30% of the nights on the Volvo Ocean Race feel like when you're in the heavy weather. And that is the sound. That's what it sounds like. It's loud and it's windy and it's just hellish. And it seriously took me back just listening to the audio of that, and it combined with the visuals, I thought it was pretty cool.
I love that he left those peaks in there because it feels just like a hurricane video.
Yeah.
All those handheld hurricane videos from the 30th floor in Miami or whatever, and there's nothing but popping in your ears, and the world is ending.
Yeah.
It felt like that. I mean, it just felt like that.
No, it was sweet. And how often do we have a video that the audio is the star of it? So, really well done. All right.
Beautiful stuff.
Video of the leg. Let's do it.
Video of the leg. Now I'll preface this by saying we all know what happened in the leg. We all know that that it was just an incredible battle and lane changes and lead changes all the way until they got into that screaming reach.
And crazy that Dongfeng dropped back then.
Yeah.
I haven't heard why that is.
It was a tighter reach than what they've really excelled in over the last little bit.
Some boats are stronger at different points of sail. But
our understanding too is that Brunel had a new J2, which turned out to be the exact right sail for the conditions. And if you watch, you'll look at it. But my point is, I'm going to take it back a step here for a second. My point is, I'm going through trying to find that moment, and there's 3 different videos that have a moment, and there's only one that's the real moment, but they were all incredible narratives. They all came from Sam Greenfield, and I think for whatever reason, maybe the length of the leg, maybe his comfort with the waters, whatever it was, Sam exploded this leg, and
totally agree.
His output was phenomenal. His narrative was phenomenal.
My theory is it's a shorter leg. I think that and Sam, you can tell us if we're wrong on this one, but you have a longer leg mentally. You're on, you're off, you're on, you're off. A short leg, you're like, let's just send it. Let's just do it. You can stay up as long as you want. You don't have a lot of time left in the race. So I think that he really just wanted to throw down.
So when someone as talented as Sam is operating on instinct instead of getting in his head, he's at his best.
That's one way to put it, and
right.
And just to preface it though, that we all deal with that. So
if we get nasty text messages from Sam. That's not
no.
me at all, you dick.
No.
All right, so. Let's just have a look at the video. It's actually one more thing I'll say. No, let's look at the video.
Laughing match with MAPFRE, and we prevailed in the end. I think we were losing a lot on the other boat, so they decided to come down, and that's all I know about that one.
Yeah, it has been pretty windy the last 12 hours, 35-40 knots, and but we've gone well. We actually just overtook MAPFRE like an hour ago, so we're actually in the lead, which is a nice thing, but still a long way to go, and the breeze will go out, and I think actually the boats behind us actually might gain a little bit almost because they get the shift first, so yeah, they have to see how it all pans out, but it's until the end, but it's better to be in the lead than be choices.
Did you ever read the Captain Jack Aubrey books?
Oh, I saw the movie though.
You saw the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. In the movie, there was a scene that was based on one of the books that I think was called HMS Surprise.
Right.
And they had been chasing this boat for all the way around the world.
Yeah.
Right?
The French.
The French boat.
Right.
And I don't even think it was French in the book, but
right.
in
Movie
the book, it's this. It builds up for 400 pages to this battle. They keep trying to take shots at each other, and then they disappear in a fog bank, and then the Southern Ocean storm comes in.
Right.
And they are racing, one is trying to get away from the other, one is trying to attack the other, and basically it's who has the balls to keep going and keep increasing sail in 50 or 60 knots of breeze. And all of a sudden, the boat that Jack is chasing tumbles over and sinks and kills everybody and disappears under the waves. That's what this video is like, man. And the way that Sam puts it together and how he did it so quickly, I couldn't believe it. It's the best thing I've ever seen in sailing, and the story is all there for you, and that might very well be the story of the race.
Okay. Best part about it is that Sam captured it, right? Like, and I'm sure I'm wondering what kind of was going on at the time, because what I noticed is the whole thing is 80% of things shot with the static cameras on the boat. So Sam's not on deck, and then he pops out of the hatch just a little bit to grab some of it. My theory is that this moment was happening probably when Sam was on off watch. The guys kind of gave him the heads up, hey, this is happening, we're about to overtake him. And it was happening so fast that Sam probably didn't have the time to get up on deck and get set up properly, or we see someone's wearing his kit on deck, because probably something an issue with the sailor's kit. So either one of those factors, Sam is stuck down below, and he still captures this entire moment perfectly.
That's right. There was a guy that was grinding in Sam's gear for a bunch of those videos.
Right.
Huh. Look at Matt. Clever boy. Clever boy. Interesting. We'll find out if that's the truth. But again, I mean, when you can capture, maybe we'll see in another couple of days here, but maybe the defining moment of the entire race, and a chance for a guy.
Who are you rooting for? Who out of the three do you want to win?
All right.
We're segueing.
Are we supposed
That's
to?
That's my segue into our next segment. So,
all right.
All right.
Let's do this. Let's bring up, since those are our video picks for the leg, let's bring up the scoreboard and have a quick look at the scoreboard, and let's talk about it for a second.
Okay. So what's happening on the scoreboard here? Let's just talk about the top three places, right? So the top three places, MAPFRE is overall, because they're tied with Brunel right now, but they own the import race tiebreak. Brunel's in second, tied on points, and then Dongfeng, who only has, I think, 64 right now.
Yeah, they're one down, but
the reason is they have the overall lapse time.
They can't lose it unless they break.
It's like 14 hours on Brunel and like a day on MAPFRE.
They're
or the other way around.
They've sailed so much faster around the world.
So they own another point, basically.
So
it's
they're
tied.
all three tied,
right,
with one tie break possible.
So what's going to happen is the first boat that gets into the Hague wins the race out of those three.
Yeah.
It's an absolute drag race.
There are some permutations, actually, where if Dongfeng doesn't win, it could go back, and there are some tiebreak possibilities out there. So it's not necessarily that's the case, but it's mostly that. As long as they all finish, I think the boat that crosses the line first wins, and that's fascinating. It just doesn't happen in sport.
Okay, who's your pick?
All right.
Okay, wait. MAPFRE wins, Tuke
Before
wins.
we talk about picks.
Brunel wins, Burling wins, Dongfeng wins. They've been hurting ever since the last of the race, and they're dying for it.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the storylines, right?
There's more than that, okay?
Absolutely, there's more of that.
If Baalbecking wins, it's his first win in 8 attempts. That's 30.
Longer than anyone else
31
that's trying
years.
for it out of those three teams.
31 years.
Right.
Okay? That would be that. I mean, that's a pretty good story.
If Jabi wins, crowd favorite by far amongst the three.
Not only that, but it would be the first Spanish history. There's a Mexican win in the Whitbread, but there's never been a Spanish win,
right?
Despite trying since 2005 hard.
And then Dongfeng, first Chinese entry ever. Yeah,
first Chinese entry, and they'd have 2 wins, and Charles Cadrelier, who won with Groupama, would have
2
out of 3.
Yep.
And they'd podium 3 straight, and Cadrelier would podium 3 straight.
Without a doubt, they're the gunboat. Like, if I were the 3 teams, they're the ones you're looking over your shoulder at.
Yeah. Okay, here's the issue, though.
Yep.
Who lives right there? Who lives right where, like, he can see his house for half this leg? Who?
Bauer
Becking.
Yep.
Lives right there in the corner of Denmark, okay? Guess who won this race with the right sail in waters that he knows really
hot?
well?
Who's won the last 2 legs?
Who's got the momentum?
Yeah.
And guess what? I'll tell you one more thing. And that one of my picks in this video was for the videos, we had to lose it, but was Pete Burling in a video. And all of a sudden, this leg, now that they're
all of a sudden it's
right
like
in it,
perking up
and
a
now
little
that
bit.
it's short races, and now that
Yeah.
Burling knows he doesn't have to sit on a goddamn salty boat for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's Mr. Camera.
Yep.
He's happy. He's fun. He feels like he knows how to make the boat go. They're not suffering from that speed deficit that they were suffering from for so long.
Okay. Who's your pick?
But wait, I have to
No,
I have to qualify it again. And I have a video, and maybe you'll put this up in the post. But Bauer in waters these waters basically.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, a little bit further away, but these waters basically. He hit a rock and wrecked the keel of the boat and ended his race pretty much. I mean, at that point, right in waters he really knows. So there's the caveat. But here's the truth. I am a big fan of Brunel. I'm a big fan of Pete Burling. I'm a big fan of Bauer Becking. I love the man. I think he's a wonderful person. And I think they're going to win objectively.
All right.
And I want him to win. And I'm sorry, Xavi, and I'm sorry for
That's
you know what I mean. But like
enough.
I love all these guys.
You're going Brunel.
Yeah.
I'm going MAPFRE.
And the French are going to win when this thing goes open 60 anyway, right?
No, without a doubt. Let's give them like the next couple races already. All right. So I'm going MAPFRE.
Yeah.
I shot for Helly Hansen before the race with MAPFRE. Spent 2 weeks with those guys. I've got friends on that team from the last race I sailed with. Yeah,
you were at the Spanish base when I was there. I was in Portugal.
And Neil McDonald's been coaching him the whole way around. And yeah, just overall, I've been a MAPFRE guy this whole race. So I'm going MAPFRE because I want to, because I want him to win.
Should we put something down on it?
What do you want?
Bottle of Patron.
Done.
All right. So before we finish up here, breaking news. Do you have the little beep, 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 beep? It's not that breaking. It's a couple weeks old now, but not a huge surprise that the Volvo Ocean Race has technically been sold to a group led by current CEO and his right-hand man, Richard Brisius and Johan Salin from Sweden. So at the same time, the news came out that the consideration that I think the front runner for options is to have 2 classes in the next Volvo Ocean Race, one of which these Volvo 65s that have made such a good race this time around, and one of them boats fitting in the open 60 box, which is foiling or non-foiling, but canting keel monohulls designed for one person.
Tons of those laying around.
Really?
Laying around.
There's
but
a lot. There's 50 odd of them still
Yeah.
alive. So
easy to get into relatively.
yeah, and there's there's a huge knowledge base of people who know how to sail the things.
Yep.
Now, I don't know. It's a sticky situation, but I guess first of all, you know Richard Brisius. You've had dealings with these guys for a long time, and where do you see the direction? Is there some major change in the actual race that we can expect?
I don't think that there's going to be any major changes associated with this. I think it'll still be called the Volvo Ocean Race. I do think that as you've alluded to before, there is probably like just some change that Volvo wanted to make, whether it's their balance sheet or whatever, and offload the ownership to somebody else. I think it's a good thing. The thing that I am more keen on is this switch to 2 different boats, and I think there's 2 pieces to that. The first, Ian Walker wrote a great piece on the change that just I think went out a couple days ago, and it's interesting what he says. He says, you'll be able to push the 60s harder because single-handers aren't used to pushing those boats very hard. So if you have a crude Imoca, they're going to push them hard. They're going to break more because they're more fragile than the 65s. They're also going to foil differently if you have another half ton of weight on board, probably.
Yeah.
They're just not made for that. So I think that there will be a difference there.
For this race.
The second thing, I think that you're going to see the OBR job change. 65 will obviously stay the same. I think there will be drones on both of them. But a 60, the Imoca 60, is so well protected in the cockpit area that you're not going to have the wet and wild Volvo classic imagery that you're used to. I've shot on those boats before, and it's much drier. And it'll be interesting to see how the personality dynamic goes if you only have 5 people, 6 people on board. So
here's the big question, right? I've sailed on 60s and 65s, and I don't know who would win.
I have no idea.
Who's
It
gonna win? They're gonna
depends on
start
who keeps the boat in one piece. You've seen. Okay, well,
Yeah.
we've seen a 65 went faster than an Imoca during the Transat.
Yeah,
Then a
crude
70.
65.
Okay, right. So
But a single-hander would tell you that they sail the boat to about 80% potential most of the time.
so if it's got something left in the tank, what are we going to see when that happens?
It'd be
I don't
really
know.
interesting. It'd be really exciting, though. The other caveat is that the boats are designed to sail long races single-handed or double-handed, and that means that they're not designed for sort of the levels of constant pressure that these sprints put on it, right? But Volvo's is a bunch of sprints, not a bunch of 50-day or 60-day races. It's a bunch of sprints. And they're pushed so much harder during those sprints, not just because they're crude, because they're short legs comparatively. So that'd be interesting. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Plenty to watch for. Now, before we finish up, I want to bring in Steve Kindra, the founder
Steve.
of Skyway Yacht Yard.
Come on over.
Talk about some local action here in Chicago. Steve's been supporting the yachting community here for a long time. He's got a great yard down the south side of Chicago. How are you, Steve?
Alan?
Looks like you brought some gifts for us, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that.
Where,
Now, this is the Colors Regatta that you guys sponsor, right?
Yeah.
And tell us about that.
We had a good turnout this year. We had about 120 boats showed up, and we had 2 circles, which was an improvement. Last year was only 1, and we're shooting to get it into a 3-day race and perhaps 3 circles.
And don't you pay the registration fees or something crazy like that?
Well, I put a big chunk of money down for the food and booze and everything. We'd like to have guys lubricated. It helps with the marketing. And then we sponsored. This year we tried something different. We wanted to get the what we're trying to do is get everybody engaged in Chicago. And the distance aspect of that race, the nudes, the Verve Cup, brings in the perf racers. So I said that I would pay the registration fee of all the perf racers.
Very cool.
We'll see how that turns out in the fall.
Very
they got to
cool.
show up at the yard to get that refund.
They got to show up at the yard, right?
That's right.
That's fine.
With
That's
the boat.
fine. And it's a good yard. The Volvo Ocean Race gets those casual fans into it, gets those perf racers into it for sure. How did you start following the Volvo Ocean Race?
Well, just over time, it's been around forever when it was Whitbread, and we've followed that, and then I, got into my career, and that all fell away, and then now I'm back in the sailing community, and we watch it casually here and there, and then this year is a really weird spring for some reason, as a Volvo.
Just super busy.
Just horrible weather and just bad, and so we had no time for casual viewing. So I followed everything this year on the Boatfeed, which was nice. I mean, it was really everything came in concise, quick, Reader's Digest version stuff, and it was really pleasurable to watch it. It's great footage too, as Matt was saying. Some of the stuff is crazy.
It's pretty amazing what
really
these guys are able to do right now.
And there's one of the tributes I saw was just fantastic.
Yeah. Last thing, we've got a Volvo 70 on this lake, and she owns that outright record right now. She does the Mac every year. I see the way kids look at her when she's on shore. And I wonder, you live here, does a boat like that connected with that race really kind of get the community into it more?
Oh, for sure. Everybody talks about it. It's a fixture in the big distance stuff, right? They did the Trans Superior last year, and then they did that record thing in the fall. And everybody talks about it. Everybody that's a boat knows Il Mastro. And half the people said they've sailed on it. Right? Now, half of that's not true.
Maybe you built the sheet for it, huh?
That's right. We all think we have a connection to it, and we all like it's our our piece of Hollywood here in the Great Lakes, and so it does tend to magnetize people toward the sport, I think.
Very cool. Well, you're doing a great job helping people get into the sport. Thank you so much for supporting us and for supporting sailing here in Chicago.
Thank you.
Check them out, Skyway Yacht Works. The Colors Regatta sign up for next year. And Matt, I know you got to go shoot some kids sailing.
Yeah, got to go get out there right now. But thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks to sponsors Steve, Skyway Yacht Works. Thanks to Musto, Inmarsat, Chicago Yacht Club. It's been awesome.
And thanks to you guys. And please get down there, smash that like button, and hit the little notification button, and subscribe, and share it with your friends and your yacht club. And one more episode. Make sure to keep an eye on this Facebook page on Boatfeed. To find out for the details of that final exciting episode.
All right. See you later.
See you soon.